Hi, Philip Thornton again here from Legacy Faith Church in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, again in partnership with Hearing God's Voice Ministry in Kasur, Pakistan. The last segment, we talked briefly about how man in original sin, committing treason against heaven, yielded the dominion that God gave him over into the powers of darkness or into the hand of Satan. Well, that's where the law of sin and death began to rule and reign throughout the entire earth. But God had a plan. God's plan has always been to walk with man. Remember, mankind is the best idea that God ever had. I like to explain it like this, that when God created the heavens and the earth, he spoke to it. But when he created you and he created me, he spoke to himself and said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness. Simply understood, we are the apex of creation. We're the ones that God designed to have dominion over his creation. Now, don't think this is some kind of lofty thought. This was and is the plan of God. If you go back to the Bible story, you're going to see that when God created man in his image and after his likeness, he told man to have these 5 attributes. Number 1, to be fruitful, to multiply, to replenish, to subdue, and have dominion in the earth. Now, the law of sin and death is now reigning, and so dominion was stolen from mankind. And the other 4 attributes, to be fruitful, to multiply, replenish, and subdue, have now found themselves yielded as the servants to the law of sin and death. This is why, as the Bible describes, that man now works by the sweat of his brow, that man now works and has to toil and labor, and how women will have to bring forth their children in pain. But that was not the original plan. But again, I have good news for you. God's original plan is in play. God didn't forget. He's not does not have the power to bring it to pass, but he is all powerful, and he has initiated that plan so that men and women can be reconciled unto him, and so that dominion can be restored. So let's talk about this real quick. I don't want to keep you long, but I want you to understand. The patterns that are in the Word of God begin to reveal God's nature, his character, and his design for mankind. And it begins on the very first day. When Adam sinned against God, the first thing that God did is went and killed an animal, and there sacrificed the blood and clothed Adam with the garment of skin. Why is this important? Well, remember that God came to speak with Adam, and Adam was hiding from him because of his sin. And he said, when God says, where are you, Adam? And he said, I was hiding because I knew that I was naked. God's question is, who told you that you were naked? Well, again, right now we have to understand that all of humanity knows and recognizes there has been a separation between man and God, but God's design is to reconcile all of mankind back to himself. And so the pattern begins to emerge in the Word of God. It was going to require the death of an innocent animal or the blood in order to atone for the sin of man. But that was not the end. That was only the beginning. God had to set these things in order to reveal himself to mankind. In the next segment, I'll be sharing a little bit more about how God has revealed himself to humanity throughout the ages and throughout time, so that you can see, so that you can hear, and so that you can be reconciled unto God. Again, Philip Thornton, on behalf of Legacy Faith Church and Hearing Voice of God Ministries in Kasur, Pakistan.